as you guys can see, I've got a nice Systainer collection here. I'm about halfway to where I want to be. I recently switched from Packout over to Systainer. We're going to get into the reasons why, but the main reason was when they dropped this here. This is the summer Systainer, and I was like, all right, I'm sold on this whole system. It's got the American flag latch, and if you watch my video, especially going back, you know I like to mix it up and cook my lunch on site. I have a little grill that I bring out, and to have this thing ready in the van in a Systainer where I can have my apron here so I don't get my Whistling Diesel shirt dirty. I've got my branding iron right here so I can pull my meat out and just brand it with the Festool logo. That's completely a game changer. Spice shaker, I'm a salt and pepper guy. I'll sprinkle a little bit of garlic in there, but I'm gonna fill this bad boy up. And then for my sparkling waters, I've got the Yeti little koozie thing right here. And that is really what sold me on Systainers. Let's talk about for real why we switch from Packout to Systainer. And we really haven't even eliminated all of our Packout gear. It actually rides with John in the current truck that he's using. So here's all of our current Packout stuff, a good majority of it at least. We're slowly moving away from, and we're gonna be converting everything over to Systainers, which by the way, if you didn't know this, Festool actually does not make Systainer. It's a company called Tannis, and you can get Tannis Systainers for any of your tools. And other companies use them, like Surf Prep right here uses Tannis. That's my Surf Prep sander. Castle pocket hole cutters also use the Tannis Systainer. That's this here, but most notably, of course, Festool is the one who, you know, pretty much uses the most because they ship their tools with Systainer. And that's reason number one why we're making the switch over to Systainer. I cannot explain to these tool companies how important it is for me personally, I can't speak for everyone, but for me, that when I buy a tool, it comes in its own case and it's all sorted out. Let me show you what I mean. This right here is my HKC 55. So this is my little track saw that, it's a really cool saw. It's like having a miter saw in your hand. But when you open this up, it shows you everything. It shows you how this is organized, shows you the different tracks, it shows you the different blades that could go with this saw. You pull this saw out, it shows you the batteries and everything, how everything fits. It's got extra blade storage in here. It's got a place for your clamps for your track. I mean, they have it sorted out. I can literally just grab this saw when I go perform a task by taking this Systainer and walking in onto a job site. Bam, I need the HKC 55. So grab the HKC 55 and you're not gonna have any issues. You're gonna be able to accomplish that task. Here's the little track that goes with it. If you guys haven't seen this, it's an amazing, awesome tool from Festool. But yeah, it's really cool. It's on this bungee cord, bam, and it zeroes out. So when you go up to a board, you can cut straight through stuff and do all these different angles. When we're done with it, bam, we drop it back in. It's all this foam is already cut out for it. It's perfect. Close the latch on it, put it back in the van. I mean, that to me is mind-blowing. Like once I started getting my first Festools and getting into the system, I saw how my workflow changed, how I was organized. And this video is not sponsored by Festool or Tannis. Neither one of these companies know I'm making this video. This is just me telling you why I'm making the switch. So everything's organized. Now I get it, you could take a Packout, right? And I'll pull this one off right here. You could take a Packout and you could cut your own foam and everything and make this work. But really what we've done is just a bunch of loose stuff. Like this is how John has, these are all in John's truck now. This is how the batteries are in this one. This is the charger slash battery Packout for that truck. And you know, it's semi-organized and it's fine, it works, but this system right here is so much better. Now, when it comes to like actual drills and jigsaws and everything like that, I really wish that companies like Milwaukee and others would like, hey, put it all in a Packout and send it in something like this. I guarantee your consumers will be much more happier. I can promise you that. And I'll show you another one of my favorites right here. This is my TXS 18. I never thought I would buy a Festool drill, but this system made me buy a Festool drill, because I love the fact I could stack it up with this whole system, and inside of this I have my drill. Now what's really cool about this, if we're doing like a hardware punch out, I have all my bit storage right here on top. It's in this little container right here. I've got countersinks, all types of VIX bits and everything, just stuff that we've been using recently. And then when I open this up, again, we have it perfectly laid out. They've got images right here to show you where everything goes, what it comes with, and all the accessories that you could have, which actually is smart on their part, because they're gonna upsell stuff, and it's smart for us because we may need those attachments, like this right angle driver right here. So this is one of my favorite purchases. I love it. Like, you need the jigsaw, bam, you're walking in with the jigsaw. Here's everything you need for the jigsaw. Got my blades, like, that's so crucial. It's just all organized. So I could keep going, but I think you get the point on that. Now, reason number two is going to be the fact that everything comes labeled. Now, this is something I know I could label it myself, but I love the fact that it's like, bam, TXS 18. You can see the label right here. You can see what tool it is, and you're all set. You're ready to go. So with these labels, you can see as I have them stacked right here, I don't have to sit there and guess what I'm getting into. If I need my router, bam, I know it's down here. If I need my small domino, the DF500, it's here. My big track saw, big domino, it's just at a glance, I can see it. Again, efficiency. So the third reason we're switching everything from Packout to Systainer here is the size difference. So you can see, just looking at these two, the Packout is much bigger. And of course, if you have something bigger, then obviously you can fit more stuff in it, right? So it's a better storage. I don't really think so. I mean, you could probably fit more stuff in it, but I don't think that makes it a better storage, because if you look at the way this thing is designed, it's got a lot of over molding and like these rails right here. It's kind of unnecessarily bigger. It's got all this stuff protruding out from it, and I get it that they want to make it tough, so you know it looks cool, and if you drop it off something, off a ladder or a table, it's going to be okay. It's not going to break. So it probably would win in a durability test against a Systainer, but I don't know about you, but I'm not constantly dropping my toolboxes, and I don't think I've ever even dropped one. So it hasn't been an issue. And I do think though that this is more durable, but the Systainer just wins in my opinion. So let's see the size difference here. So across, we've got about 22 inches on the Packout, and then on the Systainer we've got 15 and a half. And then let's look at depth here. We've got 11 and 5/8 deep, and then on the Packout we've got 16 inches deep. Like if I put this on top of it, that might represent like the size difference. So I'll put it in this back corner here, and you can just see how much bigger the Packout is. And I kind of argue that you can fit everything you need to fit that you're going to be using in a Systainer versus a Packout. For example, all that stuff I showed you, like how they stuffed all the components to that HKC in this, like if I brought this back over, you can see it's all the same width. It's everything for that saw is in here, and it fits in here nicely. So I think they've really nailed it on the organization aspect of it. One other thing about this, we have two drawered type systems here. We've got the, what is this, the 2-drawer Packout and the 3-drawer Systainer, and this one is really called a sortainer because it is the drawer system. But let's say I want to use these 3.5-inch screws right here, and I want to just take this whole thing out. Well, literally, I'll show you on the side. There's just a button right here. It's on both sides. You push that in on both sides, and now you can take this with you. Take it with you up on the scaffold or wherever you're going upstairs to do stuff, and you don't want to carry all the screws because you only need the 3.5s. You can do that. So you want to put it back in, you just latch it back in, and then it's back to that where it's not going to pull out until you push the buttons again. In the Packout, you can also remove the drawers. So this is where we keep one of our surf prep sanders. But if you look at this, this is like a standard drawer guide in your house. So yes, you can take it off, but it is a little bit annoying because you got to push down on this side and then up on this side, and then it wobbles out of there. So yes, now you can take it. Say you had the same 3.5 inch screws in here, you can take it in wherever you want. But it's not as convenient because now when you want to put it back in, well, now you're lining up the drawer guides just like you're installing a kitchen, and you got to get those latched in there. It's just definitely not as efficient if you're going to be removing the drawers. I promise I've done this before. Here we go. All right, it'll click in, bam, and then it's locked back in. So it is nice that they pull out and they're not just going to fall out, but if you do want to remove a drawer, as I just showed you there, it's kind of annoying. You can see there the obvious size difference, and to me it's really not worth it because the space in my van is very critical, and I don't want to just taken up by all this over molding and these rails and space that I could use for something else. If I have these more narrow Systainers, then I can make it work. Now you may say, well, what if I have bigger tools? Well, they do make bigger ones, but they're not standard. So for example, right here, this is our Castle pocket cutter. It's too large for a typical width Systainer, so it comes in this and it fits right in there like that. So if out of necessity you have a larger tool, then they have tons of different configurations of these Systainers and all different colors and everything, and you can see it integrates into the system as well with these smaller ones. Very rare. I've only got 2 of them. So, and I have like large drill bits in this one and then my Castle pocket cutter, and I'll even show you guys, like, I don't know if you've seen this, but I mean, they were able to fit a full-blown table saw into a Systainer. Check this out. The back of the Systainer is the bottom of the table saw. So when we open this up, we have ourselves a little punch-out table saw that's very capable, by the way. We've been testing this thing out and it is pretty dang legit. So I'll probably make a full video on this, but I'm bringing this out to say, like, you can fit a lot of stuff in this wide of a Systainer, because that's exactly what this table saw is. And why I've got this turned on, check it out. I can raise the blade up with this little dial right here. It's a motorized blade. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Another thing we were just looking at here when we're comparing size is, even though the Packout on the exterior of it is 22 inches and the Systainer is 15.5, when you actually open up the storage here for usable space, the inside, which is actually usable, is 16 3/8 wide, and the inside to inside of this is 13 3/4. So all this over molding and all this space right here that's lost is just that. It's lost space that you're losing in storage. So if I were to take this off and put it here, like, it's not that much different as far as width wise. So you can see here, I'm in there. So 2.25 inches bigger, but the overall width is obviously much bigger, as I just showed you in those dimensions. So that's just interesting. It seems like from a practicality point of view, it's a bit of a flaw in my opinion to have all this. But yeah, that's reason number 3, the size. Reason number 4 for me switching over to Systainer is going to be the way that they stack. Now both of these systems stack, and they'll stack as high as you can stack them, as much money as you want to spend, but these win in my opinion. So let me show you. I'll grab this one here. The ease of stacking this. So this is my drill again. So it's got these little kind of dovetailed cleats right here. Not really dovetailed, they're just these kind of angled little plastic pieces. Now those are gonna slide in to this rail right here. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that angled piece, tilt it back so it's pushed all the way up against it, drop it down, and then put this latch right here. So now I could take this here, and of course I chose the screw one, it's really heavy, but they're stacked together right there, that easy. So put them back up here, unlatch it, just take the drill off. I mean, it's just so basic. So on the Packout, like if I bring this, it's very similar to the Systainer in that it has some kind of angled plastic pieces protruding off the bottom, and then on the top of the other Packout, it's going to have this recessed kind of plastic plate here. So very similar, it'll drop on, you'll kind of fill to find flush, and once you find that it drops in, you push it back. Now, we'll say the Packout does have kind of a one-up on Systainer here because you don't actually have to latch it. You heard that click, it just clicks in automatically. But there have been times where when it's time to release these, you push this button up that we've had to like fight it, especially if it's heavy. Like this Packout right here is empty, so it'll slide right off. But if it's loaded up with tools, I've had to like push that button and like kick the other one off. But I do think that Systainer wins this one because of just how simple it is. So again, bam, let's go. There's no little button or anything. So that is reason number 4 we're switching to Systainer. So some final thoughts on this whole issue. I think Packout is a good system. We're switching to Systainer because I think it's a better system. This system will stay in the other truck for quite a while because it's still a good system. I'm not just going to throw it away, like it's still good. It's a good system. And I will say one of the advantages of the Packout is that you can actually lock it up. So even though these make it kind of bigger and bulkier, you can run a cable through there or a chain and lock that up. It actually has a little slot where you can lock it up with a padlock. So that is good. Me personally, that doesn't really matter because the way things are going these days, I'm not leaving my tools on any job site. Like I'm literally taking what I need from the van and then walking it back out at the end of the day. All that to say, they're both good systems, like they really are. I'm not trying to trash Milwaukee Packout by any means. Let me know if you guys have any questions regarding Systainer, regarding Packout down in the comments below. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of my takes on these here. But that's kind of where I see it at this point, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.